Scotland is full of scenic landscapes. This is my first visit to Scotland. Our visit began in Glasgow. We drove from London to Glasgow. But we stayed one night at Loch Lomond outside of Glasgow. The next day, we drove to Fort Augustus, Loch Ness area. On the same day, we stopped at Oban, a port city, to have a famous seafood lunch in the port area. Oban is the seafood capital of Scotland and the gateways to the Isles. After our sumptuous lunch, we drove to the Three Sisters of Glencoe. We were greeted with scenic sights on the way to the Three Sisters of Glencoe. These Three Sisters are three distinctive ridges on the Nambian mountain. Part of the James Bond movie Skye was filmed here. The Three Sisters landmark is the most photographed in Glencoe. From Glencoe, we drove to Fort Augustus and stayed one night. The next morning, we explored the surrounding area of Fort Augustus. This town is located at the southernmost end of Loch Ness. After a hearty breakfast, we left Fort Augustus for Skye of Loch Ash. We stayed at Skye for 2 nights. This town is at the bridge entrance to the Isles of Skye. From Skye, we explored the Isles of Skye. When we arrived at Silagachan Waterfalls, it was raining and windy. The wind was cold. We did not manage to track the trail as it was too cold. After taking some pictures, we returned to the car. We then drove to Nice Point, one of the most famous lighthouses in Scotland. The cold wind was even stronger. The cold has a numbing effect on our hands when we take videos. Although we could not track, we could take some nice video of the place. The next day, we had a clear blue sky. We visited the fairy pool. The fairy pool is a series of small, beautiful waterfalls. The trek was easy. There were many people trekking. From here, we drove to Queyran. Along the way, we stopped at Kilt Rock Waterfall. The waterfall is a 90-meter high fall into the sea. Driving to Queyran was challenging as the road is only one lane and caters to two-way traffic. The road was winding. The view at the top is worth the effort to drive up. Although there are many scenic sites to visit on the Isles of Skye, we leave the next day. Leaving Skye of Loch Ash, we travel to Peloton and Belush Naba. We visited the coral beach at Peloton. The water is very clear. Then we took the scenic drive to Belush Naba. The drive was challenging, but the scenic views were mesmerizing. We arrived at Augustus Inn. This inn is located near Glencoe Dam. There was no other building around the inn. We stayed 2 nights here. The next day, we spent a day around Wolfclub. We visited the ruins of Edinburgh Castle. Then we drove back to Wolfclub through the town of Glencoe. Along the way, we met some wild deer. We had our fish and chip dinner at Wolfclub before returning to Augustus Inn. From Augustus Inn, we drove to Edinburgh. We spent 2 nights in Edinburgh before leaving for England. On our arrival, we climbed up Arthur's Seat. The view of Edinburgh from the top of Arthur's Seat is magnificent. The next day, we give ourselves a scream by visiting the Edinburgh Dungeon. The Edinburgh Dungeon presents the darkest history of Edinburgh, using live actors and theatrical sets and thrilling rides. We could not make video inside the dungeon. We had an enjoyable scream in the dungeon. After lunch, we have an interesting city tour. The tour guide dressed like a witch and brought us around the city. The next day, before we left Edinburgh for England, we found a Singapore cafe. The coffee and breakfast made us miss home. There are many more scenic landscapes and interesting places to visit in Scotland. There is no way to visit all of them in one trip. We thoroughly enjoyed the places we visited over the last 9 days in Scotland. This trip has given us precious memories. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share this link with your friends who might be interested in visiting Scotland. Subscribe to this channel to receive updates on new videos. Thank you for watching.